Live, trance, and prosper. Hi, I'm Professor David Phillips. Welcome to my home. And today I'm going to speak to you about how to make educational GPTs. That's what I'm calling this video. How to make your own educational GPTs is the subject. Honestly, you can make pretty much any type of GPT with the process I'm about to demonstrate. But as many of you know, I am a professional educator. I'm an associate professor at an elite university in Taiwan. And I've been at the same university since 1990. I've been a professional educator for longer than that. So I've been around the block when it comes to talking to students. But in today's video, I want to show you something interesting. I use a lot of conversation blueprints at the university, Guoli Zhengshi Daxue in Taipei, Taiwan. I teach literature. My PhD is in comparative literature with a specialty in interactive drama. I also teach language, English language, the talkie-talkie. And in my talkie-talkie oral training or conversation, English conversation classes, I often use an activity called the Conversation Blueprint. Conversation blueprints are essentially reading that you give the students, some comprehension questions in a worksheet, and vocabulary of related terms, ideas, things like that to the topic of the reading. And then the conversation blueprint part is two blueprints. One is a collection of about 25 questions, discussion questions, related to the topic that are generally about the subject. And the students, then we elicit their opinions and they just chat. There's no wrong answers. It's supposed to be a chat or discussion. The second type, blueprint 2, will be a more personal experience with the subject and personal values and elicit those sort of things. Once again, the idea is to have engaging questions for the students to interact with one another. There's no wrong answers to the questions. It's just a discussion activity based upon a particular topic. Now, typically, I write these myself. Or I'll find a newspaper article and then I write the activity around it. Let me show you what I mean. So, in ChatGPT, if you have a Plus account, you have access to what are called GPTs. So I go into my account here. At the bottom, you see there's my name, David Phillips. Oh, he's so handsome. Let me pop this up so I can see. And on the top left, you see ChatGPT, and then you see the name of GPTs, or custom-made discussions, or custom-made chatbots built on ChatGPT-4 that you can access and use for particular things. At the top of your list of GPTs should be the ones you've created. I've created a few, as you see. I have 3 of my own and then 1 that I've used. They don't show up in your left-hand column unless you have used a GPT. Now, what I'm going to show you today is how to take this functionality and create your own, since many of my viewers are going to be English teachers interested in how can I make my own so it'll help me make my assignment stuff. So let's do that. Let's take a peek at what one of these activities might look like. And so let's just go on over into here. And you see this is a handout for one of the activities. This one is on speed dating, a subject that many of my university students aren't really that familiar with. It was popular for a while, but this is essentially how the handouts look that I want to emulate. So I have a subject, And then I have an article. Typically, I'll use between 700 to as many as 1,000 words for an oral training conversation type class. Long enough so they practice reading, and short enough that they can do it in class. I also have done this with 2,000 words and longer, but I find that that's better suited for literature classes rather than for oral language classes. But as you notice, after the reading, I have some comprehension questions. I prefer to have about 5 questions, 5 to 10, depending upon the length of the reading. In this particular example, there are 3, followed by a vocabulary list. And that's going to be useful expressions for talking about the subject. Typically, that's going to be about 25 words, terms, or phrases related to the subject. They don't have to come from the reading. They can be related to it. They can be tertiary vocabulary that is useful for students to know. I give the reading to them to read as homework, and then they prepare to answer the comprehension questions at home. I'll ask them some questions. They should also look up all the vocabulary words, so in class I can check their reading comprehension before we go to the next step, which of course is the blueprints. And so I have 2 blueprints, and you see I have 1 and 2, and these are a series of usually around 25 questions that the students will ask each other, and they can either everybody answers each question and moves on, then the group moves on to the next, or you can just ask, okay, Tommy, you answer this one, Betty, you answer this one, etc., till you go through all the things. I don't expect them to answer all the questions. I hope they have more questions than they can get through. The questions should be designed so that they engender actual conversation. Now, what we're going to do today, our happy day, is ask ChatGPT to help us create one of these. And so I'm going to, let me see, where am I at here? We're going to just go into ChatGPT and we will begin. So what I do is in ChatGPT, over here where it says Explore GPTs, I hit that, and that's going to give me a list of GPTs. Featured ones are popular ones with the GPT community. Then you have trending ones and things like that. I can also look at the ones that I have created by clicking on My GPTs. But over here on the top right, why, what's that say? Dr. Phillips, you're incredibly handsome professor. I believe it says plus create. Why, it does. And we click on that, and we can create our own GPTs. 2 ways to do this. You can hit the create, and the builder, GPT builder, will actually have a conversation with you and help you build your own GPT. For our purposes, I already have a pretty solid idea. Now, if you're experimenting, go ahead and use the builder, and it'll ask you questions. You tell it what you want, and you can reiterate. And there's a thing for preview on the right, and you can always, once you've started defining your GPT, you can test it to see if it works the way you want it to work. But let's get straight to configure. If I already know what I want out of my GPT, why don't I just go into configure, where it's essentially using a series of questions of areas where I can instruct it more specifically about my needs. Now, the name, that's where you give it a name. Now, for naming conventions, you can call it whatever you want. And once I start typing it in, and I can say something silly, So we have Brian. So I put Brian's Awesome GPT, and that appears in the preview. That's an awesome name. It really is. But it's also a stupid awesome name because nobody knows what the hell that is. You want to give it a name that is more descriptive of what your purpose is. So I have Convo-Blueprint, and that tells me Conversation Blueprint. I'm going to go ahead and break that out a bit. EFL Convo-Blueprint. It's short enough that it's easy to see in the left-hand sidebar, and also more likely people will understand it from searches. Now, here's the thing. When you create this, your GPT can be public, meaning it shows up in the store and anybody can access it, or it can be private, where it's only seen by you. So if you're doing things that are proprietary, or you're private, I just don't want other people seeing what I'm doing, you can keep it private so only you see it. Or you can also have an option where it's semi-public, where only people who have access to the URL can use it. So I could essentially make it semi-private, semi-public, and give the URL to my students to use or my colleagues, but no one else. And then if they share it, they share it. But I don't do that because I don't actually ask my students to use the paid plan for ChatGPT. I let them use the AI. I do encourage them to use AI and to use it ethically, but I do not require that they have the paid plan. And currently, GPTs are only available on the paid plan. So this is more something for my colleagues, for fellow teachers, or for those who already have a paid plan. I'm going to call it EFL Blueprint, and then under description, you add a short description about what your GPT does. And so I want my GPT here to make EFL Conversation Blueprint handouts. I just want the bot to help me make my own handouts. So that's what I put under description. Okay, now the next bit, this is the meat and potatoes of the beast. This is the instructions. It's really, honestly, before they did GPTs in ChatGPT, before OpenAI made the GPT builder public, they do have custom instructions still. And that's essentially what a GPT is. It's you have a custom instruction, but it's available to others. So I want to have custom instructions for my GPT that allow me to do some interesting things. And so I want to be able to get into that and to run through. And so I'm going to move into here's a Word document. Let me make this a little wider so you can see this a little easier. Let me change my view. I apologize. I forgot I was going to do that. So let's change that to just one page. So I have that on one page, and then I will have that all set for you. Okay, then. Let's, what am I doing? Alrighty, so, alright, so I have a document open here. This is create my, I made this for colleagues. Alright, so the instructions, I want to tell it to create a blueprint, and then you see I have something at the top, which is I'll have the task, the type of task that I want the GPT to handle, And I have some priming information. You are an expert educator and writer specializing in advanced experience in writing, teaching materials, etc., etc. You help teachers create handouts. This is a priming text. ChatGPT doesn't need this to function. You can just blindly ask it to do things. But if you have this in your instructions, it primes the pump, so to speak, so that you're more likely to have good results. All right. And then once I tell it, here's what I want you to do, I want you to make these handouts for me. I then have the steps outlined. So I tell it the steps I want it to follow. For instance, step 1 is to ask the teacher for a topic of the activity. If they don't have a topic, you will then write it. And step 2 is, if they don't have a topic, you'll give them a list of choices they could have. Most people are going to have a list of topics, a specific topic they already want. But sometimes people go in blind. They don't know what they're doing. Step 2 is going to be to ask the teacher if they already have a reading that they want the students to read to build the handout around. If they don't, you'll generate the reading for them. And I give it a few references here. And notice that I say, when you generate, make sure you check the word count is at least the count requested. ChatGPT will help you a lot, but it's not going to be exact on what you ask it to do. So you are definitely going to be reiterating whatever you need it to do. Step 3 are those comprehension questions. Generate 5 to 10 comprehension questions about the content of the reading. And also go ahead and give me the answers so the teacher knows the correct answer. The teacher already knows the correct answer. They're teachers and presumably have read the handout. But just in case, give it to them anyway. Step 4 is going to be provide us with that vocabulary list of 20 words or 25 if you want, phrases or related topics. And step 5 is going to be create conversation 1, which is going to be 25 discussion questions and have them be about personal opinions related to the topic. And step 6, of course, is where we get to the Blueprint 2, where 25 questions, but they're more related to your personal experience and high value or value set questions. I have 2 conversations. They could be identical in type, but I like to have general and then particular for personal experience. I have students do it. Conversation 1, they're in one group, and then conversation 2, they split up to new groups. So I like to have 2 separate question sets for that. And then let's see, conversation starters are simply questions that they're example questions you show people as they come in. And then of course we have the knowledge set, which is files that you might want to include. So what I'm going to do now is I've already got you started, but let's go ahead and take these instructions and we're going to cut and paste them into our GPT configuration. So I just type that. You can type it in if you're just doing this freehand, or I just pasted. I did all the work outside, and then I just I pasted that into the config file. Okay, conversation starters. This is a series of questions to get us started on this. You don't have to have these, but it's kind of nice to have some. So I'm going to start out with create a conversation blueprint for me. And then I might have some others for folks who are less experienced. I do this a lot And so I usually have 3 to 5 of these starters, but you can have more, less, or 0. It's up to you, but I think it's kind of nice to have some examples for people to see. So create a conversation blueprint for me, help me with the conversation blueprint for my students. I have a PDF reading, make a conversation blueprint activity with it. Okay, and that gives me 3 examples. And then when I go down, I have the knowledge base. If you turn on the code interpreter under capabilities, you can use the files can be downloaded when code interpreter is enabled. You can turn that off if you don't want people to do that. It's up to you. Under capabilities, you can have web browsing, DALL-E, image generation, and code interpreter. Just for fun, I'm going to keep them all on, but I'm not going to use much of it. Then I can upload files. Now, this is important. Uploading files means that you can have examples of what you want ChatGPT to do. And so I'm going to upload some examples here. And you see on the right hand side, after I typed in those example questions, they show up in the EFL Convo-Blueprint on the right hand side. But I'm going to upload some examples so that ChatGPT knows the specific format. Ideally, if you have enough space, you could have you could put in examples, a model example in your prompt, in your custom instructions. But I'm going to go ahead and upload some files, and these files are going to just boom. I'm filling in the knowledge base and they're uploading automatically. And so I have several files. I have a template of the conversation blueprints, and then I have some examples of different files. And those are just so that the bot understands what it's doing. And you can see that they're uploading. The red box has a white circle, and the white circle will be complete when the file is done. And it'll do that. And it'll be awesome and wonderful and cool depending upon your internet. So come on, guys, hurry up and finish. And it does look like my internet is going slow all of a sudden. I do not like that. I do not like this, Sam I am. I do not like this at all. But here we go. Now, unable to upload. Something's going on. Oh, man. Well, that's not good. So I'm not able to upload these files at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and try to go down here. Actions, I'm not going to use those for this purpose. Let's go ahead and try to save this. Just so, I'm going to change publish to, I'm just going to choose only me for now. I'm going to hit save and hope that I can upload. Okay, it has indeed saved it. Go back to edit GPT. And we're going to try to upload it again. And this time I'm just going to upload a few files. Let's see if I choose fewer files, if it'll upload. I'm not sure. It looks like it's slowed down again. Bummer. Well, this is not good. Oh. Sometimes you'll have glitches. Sometimes things happen. That's okay. While it's trying to upload, I suspect it's not going to. I'm going to have to do it one by one. And so I'm going to go up here. You see at the top there's a circle with a plus in it. That's where you put in the graphic. So you can, I click on it, I can either choose to upload a photo or image, or I can use DALL-E to generate something. Since this is ChatGPT and it's the Pro version, hey, why don't I use DALL-E? So DALL-E is going to create an appropriate icon for the EFL Convo-Blueprint. And once again, I'm seeing that it's not uploading the files I want. That's okay. I'll continue and give you an example. All will be well. As you see, it's taking a while. My internet is slow right now. Oh, you wretched thing. But you get the idea on how that works. So, there we go. We now have an image that looks like students in a classroom. And I'm going to go ahead and update that, confirm it so that this material is saved. Then I'm going to try again for the update, the upload, and I'm just going to upload 2 files. Okay, I have made the tweaks, and as you can see, I've got myself everything set up and configured, and I did indeed get my files uploaded finally. So I've got all this stuff. So let's go ahead and update. Update. I'm going to choose everyone, so this is going to be public. I will put the link in the description below so you can play with it, and I'm going to hit confirm. Hopefully it saves. My internet is going wanky. And there we go. It is published. So let's just copy that link. Copy the link. Let me just copy that link. And let's go ahead, and I'm going to go back to my GPTs. And so just to show you straight up, I now have in my left sidebar, I have EFL Convo-Blueprint. I click on that, and there we go. You can also go to Explore GPTs and search for the name of the file, EFL Convo and EFL Convo-Blueprint. I can click on that. Now I'm in the EFL Convo-Blueprint. I can click on one of these starters, okay, and or I can just type in, please. Oh, let me make sure that we're okay. Yes, we are. And so, please help me create. My English, yeah, good. A conversation blueprint. I just hit enter, and because of the instructions I gave it, it should reply, say, I'd be happy to help you, human, but I need some info from you. What topic do you want? What's the objective? Who are the participants? How long do you want it? And any particular content or things like that. Now, each time the questions may be a little different, but you want to tell us. What topic do I want? Well, I live in Taiwan, and I'm going to ask it to say, hey, topic, cosplay. My daughter was a cosplayer. She cosplayed the first time at a convention at the age of 4, and now she's pushing 30, and she's still a cosplayer. Objective is of the conversation is going to be to views and experiences. The target audience is that's my advanced EFL university students. How long do I want it? Let's go for about 1,000 words. It's not going to give me 1,000 words, but okay. And any themes? No, we're just going to go with that. And I hit enter, and it should just go through the list of things that we want it to do. So, creating a convo, blah, blah, blah. Here's the reading, approximately 1,000 words. And it'll generate a reading. I could have said I have a reading and upload a PDF, and it'll work from there. So if you're a literature teacher, you could use the same activity thing and go with that. Now that's obviously too short a vocabulary list, too short a reading. That's not 1,000 words. I don't want the summary. I want the full reading. And I also need a longer vocabulary list and a longer blueprint. Okay, so what I have to do now is tell it for each of these. Okay. Oh, it's also giving me another assignment. I didn't ask for another assignment. So, okay. That's interesting. And so this is a chatbot, so we're going to go with that. The reading needs to be the full text, not just a summary, you silly thing. Please give me a full word text on cosplay. So please give me a full 1,000 words on cosplay. I asked for 1,000. I'm probably going to get 500 to 700. So you will watch what's going on and you interact with the bot. If you have about 5 paragraphs for my classes, that's probably okay. But you do want to watch over that. And I'll show you when it finishes giving me this, I'll show you where you can how you can copy. You don't have to copy the screen, selecting text and things like that. ChatGPT has a built-in system for copying. Now it gave me 5 comprehension questions, and so I'm okay with that. But the other things are pretty weak. Down here at the bottom, you see there's a copy, a clip. So if I don't like this response, I can click that. I can ask to regenerate, but I'm okay with this. I'm going to copy it by clicking on that. Check mark says I've copied it. And then I go into my text writer or whatever. I don't care. When I go to my Word document, I paste it in. This is 704 words. It's not 1,000. And I can say, write it again, but make it longer, or give me a little more on this subject. But I'm okay with 700 for this topic. However, I'm not okay with just 7 vocabulary words. The vocabulary. The vocabulary section must be 20 words, terms, or phrases. So please give me 20. And it'll regenerate that section. Now it's giving me the vocabulary, it's actually giving me the definitions. Typically I don't ask for the definitions for my student handouts. I want them to look them up. But as a teacher, it's nice to have one there. You can choose to give it to your students with the definitions or just cut those out. And now I've got 20. And they are statements that are related to the topic but aren't necessarily from the reading. That's okay. Now I need to do the same with the Conversation Blueprint 1 must, actually I'm going to cheat. So I'm going to go back here. Copy that section, drop it back down. Okay, Conversation Blueprint 1 must be 25 discussion questions. Generally related to the topic. So conversation 1 must be 25 discussion questions generally related to the topic. And then I just hit enter and it should redo the questions for Convo 1 and give me 25. Please do that now. And we'll see how far it gets. These are generally related to the subject. Okay, and most of these aren't specific to your experience and your values. Now we have 20 questions, 21. Of course, using ChatGPT-4, it's more creative. 3.5, if we could do this with 3.5, ChatGPT 3.5, it would actually be faster, but the 4 model is better. Now that's perfect. 25, if I wanted to, I copy that, paste it into a Word document, and format for my things there. But we also need to get Conversation 2. Conversation 2 must be 25 discussion questions, particularly related to the topic, related to the personal experience and opinions of the student related to the topic. There you go. I want this to be more personal. Please give me 25. Boom. Let's see if it does that correctly. It should, but sometimes you have to play around. Have you ever done it? Can you share a story? How do you choose? Okay, now it's assuming that the students have cosplayed. They may not have cosplayed, but it gets them started with what if I had. And of course, I would tell the students in the teacher instructions that if you've not done something, play a game of what if. Now we've got 25 questions, and we now have enough to copy paste into a Word file, tweak it. Whenever you're using ChatGPT, you always end up having to tweak. You always end up having to edit. Never take anything that the chatbot gives you for granted. But this is pretty solid. That's a nice, simple thing. And if I want to, I can come back to this and build more, or I can share this. I will put the link in the description to the video so that if you want to, you can play around with it. Of course, if you don't want to, then don't go away. No, don't go away. Stay. But do take a look and see how that works for you, and do explore, seriously, explore the GPT system and give it a go. Build your own chatbots for your educational purposes or for your own use, for whatever you want. You don't have to write handouts for EFL students at university in Taiwan. You can write handouts for, I don't know, Martians on Mars. Or you can, maybe you're dating 12 girls and you can't keep track and you need love letters. So Valentine's Day is coming up real soon now. I'm recording this on February 5th. Maybe you haven't written your Valentine letters, Dear fill in the blank, I love you so much. Build a GPT to write your creepy letters. Please don't do that. Oh God, don't do that. It's so creepy. Don't be creepy. Don't do that. That's it, folks. That's how to build your own educational GPT. I hope you found this educational and somewhat mildly entertaining, but mostly I hope you get some use out of this. In the comments, why don't you tell me, what did you use this for? Have you used it? Did you find it helpful? Or if you didn't find it helpful, don't tell me. Just keep it to yourself, because I'll cry. But either way, this is Professor Brian David Phillips saying, live trans and prosper. Bye-bye.